Yo, yo,
Yes.
yo, what is up, guys? Aiden Smith here with the Paint Your Path podcast. We got Joel Mercado, and
What
we
up? What
got the
up?
man, the myth, the legend, Nick Kelley. What's up, bro?
Let's go. What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. He got the real, I got the LED. Well, you got like the real light, bro.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
fire.
It's life size too. I don't know if you've seen me in person, but it's fucking same size. So
Probably weighs more.
no, it probably does. You're probably right.
Dude, how you doing? You look cold.
No, actually, it was beautiful outside, but this was I kind of went with, usually I got like a polo on and all that jazz. So I kind of had to spruce it up with the North Face today, but I'm not going to lie. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
So.
That's hilarious. All right, let me give you a proper intro, bro. We got Nick Kelley, Elite Paint Home Renovations, staple painting company over in Southeast Michigan. He's a wild Italian with a big
Yes, sir.
family. He has almost 300 five-star reviews, if I tallied it up right. I think he's doing between 2 and 3 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's becoming a public speaker lately.
Yeah.
And he's a diehard Detroit Lions fan.
I am. Hey,
You got
I
two
was
Eagles
showing you
fans
love
right
when
here.
Philly. I was showing you love when Philly was in the.
That's true.
He was.
I was texting you. We were having a good time watching that Super Bowl, bro.
I ain't got nothing against the Lions, bro. We're
You,
good.
you should. You better not. I might get off right now.
Right, dude. Oh, man. Well, we appreciate you having, we got my man Joel with the purple in the back representing for you.
Got to. I have
So,
My man.
dude, where did we all meet? Like all of us.
I think it was Forward Media.
Yeah.
Really, I think that's where we all kind of came in. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a regular on those calls all the time, which I should. I'm sorry, but I hopped on a call and I heard Joel, and I was like, oh. And I knew a lot of people that knew about you or talked about you or with the production rates and stuff like that. It was really nice to finally get to meet you at PCA, man. We were homies, you know what I mean?
I know, we were like posted up at the pool or the hot tub or whatever, just chilling. That was a good time, man.
For sure.
Really good time. Or that was actually Expo.
Oh yeah, that was Expo. We met at PaintCon.
What am I saying? PaintCon.
PaintCon, yeah. And PaintCon
PaintCon
was live, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been to a lot of events, and I think I seen more people take action immediately, like doing the same thing, having a talk with their team from meeting with Andy Elliott and stuff. And, I think just so many people have the wrong taste in their mouth for that guy. And it kind of bothers me somewhat, to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of Andy. You guys know how I get down, right? And I think that sometimes people, they just see the little clips and these things, and they never actually heard this guy speak. And when they hear him speak, I mean, it's genuine. I mean, I had a couple of guys that were sitting next to me that were like kind of, I'm going to sit in the back. And then right after they said the same thing, they're like, wow, that went a lot different than what I thought it was. But when you go to a conference and you talk to 9 to 11 different people who are all taking immediate action on a lot of the things that he spoke about, bro, that's fire.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it was probably 50%, maybe even more of the people that listened to him went and apologized to their team. Remember that was like a big thing?
Dude, I still got it written on my thing. I had a whole speech. It was perfect, man. But that's how you know an event's fire, though, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, when was the first time you met Joel in person?
I think it was PaintCon too.
PaintCon?
PCA.
No, we met at PCA the year before that.
Yeah, in Orlando.
We met in Orlando for a quick second, and then PaintCon, I came down and he took me around. Man, he made it look so good in California that I flew my wife out the next day.
Yeah, he did.
He sure did, man. That was dope.
Dude.
Yeah, man. No, but yeah, we met PCA, and then that's how I met Aiden at PCA the year before, right? But I think PaintCon, based off what you're saying too, like it just solidified even more relationships. Even though we all talk online and coaching and whatever else, and we're there for each other, when you see the physical aspect and actually watch us operate in the physical form, it's like, dude, it makes sense why we're all here. So
100%. Yeah. And I think that sometimes people think we're all just like tagging each other, being nice to each other online. Like, bro, I mean, literally during the Super Bowl, every time they scored, like I was hitting up.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. You know what I mean? And I think some people think that it's like, oh, they're just tagging these people. Like, I'm really good friends with everybody that I shout out. Like, legitimately. Like, if if someone called me and needed something or was like, hey man, I seen this, I really liked it, like, okay, no problem, I'm sending it right away.
Yeah.
I just had Ricardo hit me up to send a couple of estimates his way. I sent them to him and he was like, oh my gosh, dude, this is fire, and sometimes we get busy, right? You know what I mean? I'm training a PM right now. I'm training 2 salesmen right now, right? I just started hiring for the brick company. Like, it's just a lot. And sometimes I don't mean to, but it's like, oh man, I forgot. And people have to remind me. And I'm like, okay, I got you. I'll send it to you. No problem. And the biggest thing is that I've come from so many people that are freely giving me things. So that's why I'm like, oh, no problem. I'll send you this. I'll send you that. And they reciprocate. They do the same thing back when need be.
Yeah, man. Dude, I love that also about you. And that was like a big thing I picked up was like you're such a giving dude. I mean, even for me, I thought the expectation videos you did for your estimates, right? And how you tailored them into your exterior cabinets. I was like, I need that, bro.
Yeah.
Like send them over, and you were right on it. So like, dude, I mean, stuff like that goes a long way, and
For
I
sure.
yeah, and like you said, right, it's kind of just because you said you came from something like that. So it kind of makes you think I need to do that going forward and give. I know you do a lot of like charity stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, so like I'm real big on like I'm very spiritual. Okay. I'm not like I go to church every week. My children go to a Lutheran, St. John Lutheran, right? They go to private school or whatever. Nothing crazy. We just really like the community there. But I really, really think that you get what you give, right? And you got to give without wanting anything back. And I'm going to tell you, I've lived not giving and I've lived giving, and I would give all day long because I truly believe in a higher power. I truly believe that there's someone over there looking after me, right? I wasn't the best kid. I was the little punk kid when I was growing up, right? I had the punk kid crowd, and luckily God seen something in me that I didn't even see in myself when I was younger. And I just feel like I pray every morning, God, help me to do the next right thing no matter what. That's something I say every single day, right? And I truly, truly believe in that, right? So I try to tailor that in every aspect of my life. Am I perfect? No, not at all. We all have our flaws, but I feel like if you freely give, God will give you abundance on top of that.
Wow.
100%. You ever hear of biblically when they talk about, not to get on the Bible, but when people talk about tithing, right? They don't understand that in the Bible, and I feel like what you're saying and like Tanner and everybody else previous to this on the podcast, they all understand that's a piece of that tithing of like, hey, maybe I gave $10 for this person that's homeless, right? And I know there's other verbiage you have to say nowadays, but I'm still going to say homeless, right? The reality is like that's tithing still, right? That's giving in any way that we can help people grow. So I think that's important, and you're a very big model of that. So I say that because a lot of people don't know this. Even Nick came in one of our group calls, right? Like complete takeover. It sounded like I had him as a guest, right?
Yes.
Nick was so hyped up from PCA, and everyone was just like, Nick, like, hey, can I get this resource? Can I get this? Nick's like, absolutely, on it, got it. Like
I was laying in bed, bro. I was laying in bed, and I was like, man, because I always go home. I hang out with the kids. It's very important to me, right? So like, I instill that into my children, right? Like the biggest thing is that anybody can give, and show everybody we're giving. Like the stuff that I give to, like they want me to show up, they want me to give out a big check, I don't do that. Like and it's just not that there's anything wrong with that. Just for me, like there's so many things that I do that nobody sees, right? Because I truly believe that you are the person you are when nobody else can see. The only person that's judging you is God himself. And I do a lot of things behind closed doors that nobody knows about. I don't tell anybody about, but I just think that it's the right thing. And I think that God has put me in the position he has today to help as many people as I possibly can, whether that be financial in my businesses, right? Or just helping the next guy that might be struggling a little bit harder than me to get to that next benchmark that they want. So that's just something that I think is super important, man. It's super important to instill it into your children as well, man, because, the thing is that there's going to be times where your kids are in the same situations where you're not going to be able to save them, right? And you want to make sure that they have the right tools and are reflecting being the right person. And I just think that that's so big in my life today. that I hope that my kids pick up on that. I really try to,
Dude,
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
feel like a common theme of people we bring on is just family, faith, right? Like it just aligns with, what we believe in, Joel and me. And I think that's why we connect with people like you, because that's so strong rooted in us, as well.
Mhm.
And like it's extremely important too, because we're out here trying to conquer the world in the
Right.
in the form of these construction businesses and whatnot. And it's like we have to also make that time for our kids and doing what you just said, instilling those values so they can be strong, aware, kind of make the right decisions when maybe you're out there grinding. Even though you are giving that time to them, it's like it's so much more important for entrepreneurs like us to be on it with our kids, right? And teach them the right things, so
Yeah, well, that's why I hopped on the call though, because I'm always with the kids. So I was
yeah.
at PCA chilling in the bed. My wife was getting dressed, like ready and stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, I got time for this call. I'm about to hop on this call." And yeah, man, when I hop on it, I hear Joel or I hear Tanner, I can't help but like put
Get
my
that
2 cents
itch.
in here and there, man. And I'm just like, oh man, he's speaking the truth. Let me
Yeah.
say it, because the biggest thing that is so hard for me to fathom, because you guys know me, just I don't really have limiting beliefs. I think they're all excuses in your head,
Mm-hmm.
man. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm like, even in my business, that's how I am. Like when someone comes to me that's been around, they know like don't say an excuse because I'm gonna be like, oh, what was that? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I just feel like that's just something people tell themselves so they can do a bad job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or they can do less of what they want to do, right? And I truly, truly, honestly believe that you can do anything you want in your life. It's just how hard are you willing to work for it, right?
Yeah.
And I'd say the same thing to my kids. I don't care if my kids play basketball, they draw, they read, whatever it might be, right? I just tell them you better put 150% effort into something that you love, and I will support you, even if it's dancing. You want to tap dance, bro? Go tap dance, dog. You better be top 5 tap dancers, though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I love that. And
Oh,
I
that's
think
awesome.
what I've seen from you, even your actions, right? You're big on collaboration, right, rather than competition. And I think
Mhm.
you're the perfect example of that because you're direct competitor. You're like really good buds with,
Yeah, we just played pickleball. I played pickleball. He invited me to pickleball. I never played. And on Thursday, we played together with some of his friends. He didn't tell me his friends were like the sauce, bro. So I was like,
D1 pickleball players
I was feeling like confident, and then these guys were hitting these serves with these spins, and I was
just
just like,
ripping.
because I'm hyper competitive, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. But he was super nice. I had a good time, man. And but yeah, that's my boy. I mean,
Mm.
I make new things, and if he's like, hey, I think there was just a worksheet. I was revamping some of the stuff for my PM. So he sent me over some of his stuff. Like Brad's my boy, man. I mean,
Mm.
I sat down with Brad before he even started his own company when he was still working at Somerset. And the thing is I'll be honest with you, I'm not like that with everybody around me,
Mhm.
right? I mean, not everybody's Brad. But me and Brad are we think a lot of the same things. I would do anything for him. He would do anything for me. We just have a really good relationship, and I consider him a very good friend. I mean, I talk to him all the time, and honestly, his phone. I can ring him anytime. He can ring me anytime, and you can get a good perspective. You guys know when you're in business, man. Like not everybody can relate to you. I
Yeah.
think that's one big thing that I try to tell people is you really have to watch who you talk your goals to,
Mhm.
right? And you guys know this. When I was first coming up, I come from broke, man. You know what I mean? I'm just being real. Like I ain't never had no money. I remember the first job where the guy gave me 10K in a brown paper bag. It was
Mm.
my first year. And bro, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have $10,000, right? Like
Yeah.
it was just crazy, right? And coming from that though, those humble beginnings sometimes,
Mhm.
I one thing is I never want to forget where I came from. I don't act different around anybody. I don't act like I'm that guy or anything like that. Like I mean, because in 5 years I'm gonna be something crazy great, right? I'm trying to leave a legacy in my town. And my thing is that I want that legacy to be, man, he came up and he was the same person from when he had nothing to when he had something. He freely gives. Like I just donated to children's sports teams. I'm really big on that in my
Wow.
area. So I sponsor a lot of teams and stuff like that. I even make Facebook posts and, even people I don't know, you know what I mean? I tried to, because like I said, I just feel like I truly, truly believe that if you try to hold on for everything that God gave you, he's going to take it away just as fast as he gave it to you.
Dropping bombs already.
That was awesome, dude.
Man, so Nick, obviously Aiden and I, we always like to free flow on our pods because we feel like it's the most genuine. What do you feel, how has the painting business really changed your life? I know you kind of touched it a little bit, but like realistically, right? Because I know your story and I know where you came from and obviously all those things. And just share with us like how this business has really helped you grow. And
so look, bro, I'll break it down. So then there's a time where I was homeless. Okay. Like I didn't have a house. My parents got divorced. I had 3 brothers and sisters. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment with one room, bro. We didn't even have a room for 4 kids. Right. For a time. Now my mom was great. But during that time of the divorce, just money was tight, man. You know what I mean? So we had to change some things up, and, just painting's changed everything, bro. I mean, I came from working at a fruit market. I worked Taco Bell, right? I had no vision for my life. I wasn't good at school. I mean, I was good with my hands, right? I could play sports. I mean, you pick me in sports, we're gonna probably win. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I was, ultra competitive. But what happened for me was, I was trying to get some shit together, right? And mind my French, but I was trying to get my life together a little bit, and it just fell into my lap, really. So I started painting, and I caught on real fast because it was at that point it was the most money I ever made hourly, right off rip, and that was only $10 an hour. Okay, so like just so you know, so I was like, oh man, $10 an hour, bet, right? So within about 2 months, I caught on quick, and the guy started having me bid these jobs. Cause he, you know me, I can talk, right? So, the guy wasn't, he just didn't like doing it. So I started realizing, I'm like, oh wait, I'm making this, I'm bidding these jobs for this. That's crazy, right? Well, he wasn't the best boss. You know what I mean? I didn't work for a lot of good bosses. I'll be honest with you. I worked for nobody good. But I just was like, after 6 months, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Went and did my own thing. Started getting my own work. At the time, there wasn't no Facebook and stuff. So I was knocking doors. I had worked canvassing for a company for like a summer when I was younger. So I started knocking doors and doing that. And actually, one of the guys that worked for me was working for me at the time. We were working together, and he still works for me till this day. But it changed everything, man. That really opened the door for me to realize, like, wow, I can actually make some money. I mean, at that point, I didn't know how to make money. I really didn't. I was like, oh, I'm just going to be like paycheck to paycheck, barely making by. Like, I'm going to have to find a partner that can make some money. And what happened was it just really took off for me. And then I got an opportunity to join the union, right? So someone called me and was like, hey, we hear you do good work. There's this really good company. We're only about 40 guys, but we're the best of the best. We want you to come in. So I was like, okay. So I went in there and they asked me how much I wanted. And I was like, and I always love this about me because I look for this when I interview now. But I was like, I'm not going to tell you what I want. Give me a week. Let me see what your guys can do. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what kind of, value I can provide your company. And then I'll tell you what I'm worth. And after the first week, I was like, oh, I can bang with these guys, Now, there's other things I hadn't learned that they were really good at. Like, I mean, I could spray, but I couldn't spray fine finishes like these guys could and stuff. So I was like, here, put me here a little bit under what you're paying your best guys. By the end of the year, I should be there, right? And I was there within 4 months, I think. They had me running my own work. So, yeah, I mean, but painting really opened the door for me to be successful, to be honest with you. And I never even planned on leaving the union, to be honest. I listened to Tony Robbins, some Gary Vee, because when you get so good at painting, and all my painters will shout this out, you don't have to think about doing it. You just put your headphones in and you rock, and you can listen to whatever you're listening to. And yeah, man, I went to get I wanted an estimator job because I was like, man, I'm running 20 guys right now on this job. And even if he said no, maybe later, I'd still be there right now. But he said no. My boss said no. And I was like, oh, cool. Can I just take the class and then later down the road, if you need an estimator, you can use me? And he was like, no. And I was like,
you're producing too much work.
Yeah, well, I was doing tons of side work. And I think everybody thought I was lying about it. But I was doing, because my wife didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom with my kids. I got 5 kids. So I was working 40 plus hours, usually from 5 or 6 to 1 or 2. And then I go work a side job from 2 to 6. and I'd be home usually about 6:30 and spend time with my family. And I did that for 6 years, bro. You know what I mean? So I went out there and hustled. So like when I say I can paint, I've painted full houses by myself after work. Okay. Yeah. So, that's where I kind of come from. But yeah, painting, I mean, if it wasn't for painting, like I would be punching a clock somewhere, probably not making much money right now.
Dang, dude, that's amazing. Wow. And I'm going to ask you an on the surface question because I think it's just so apparent. Even when I'm talking to you right now, and people can probably feel this, I can't imagine Nick just sitting on the couch with his legs up. I'm sorry. Like, there's some guys where I'm like, you probably chill a little bit and then you go ham. Nick's, I feel like you're always going ham, and if not, your mental's always going crazy.
Yeah, my mental for sure. So that's one thing that I really had to concentrate on doing right, was turning that off, flipping that switch. Because when you're punching the clock and you punch out and you go home, you're just going home and hanging out with the kids, right? And I won't stop. You're right. I mean, Monday through Friday, it's massive action on everything. Like I do not mess around, because my Saturdays and Sundays I want to devote to my family, right? I coach football for my one son. I coach basketball for my one son as well. So I do all of this and spend time with my kids and coach my kids and tackle footballs 5 days a week, bro, after work. You know what I mean? So I don't, that's why I say excuses, right? Everything's an excuse, man. If you want to, and guess what? I have to change my diet during football season. I have to drink more water during football season. It's not just like, I mean, we have batteries, bro, that run out. Okay. Like even me, and that's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but even mine do. Right. So I change my diet. And I do a lot of different things to make sure that I have enough energy to be the person that I want to be each and every day.
Love that. So, because again, I love that I know Nick really well, so I'm able to ask very specific questions. Here's the thing I think we've struggled, and Aiden, let me know if you feel the same way, right? A lot of guys don't bet on themselves like you bet on yourself. And tell us a little bit too, like not only just betting on yourself, but the excuse part. Watch this. Every solopreneur has no idea that Nick just hired these sales reps, right? Nick was running production, running sales, so doing his sales, running his production, running his company, and doing all the activities as a father and a husband, and has never complained once on any phone call I've ever heard him on. So tell us a little bit about your belief system in that to help our listeners, because I know a lot of people struggle with that. They're like, oh, my production manager might say, I can't handle X dollars. It's like, dude, that's the only thing you have to do. Right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
So for me, I try to be nice, right? Because I'll be honest with you, in my head, my wife is, thank God for my wife. Shout out Megan. She brings me back down to real life and be like, people don't think like you, Nick. Okay. So like, cause man, at first when people say that, all I think about is everything that I do. And I'm just like, dog, you know what I mean? But I just look at the glass half full, man. There's so many people that wish to be in my position each and every day. So many people that wish to have 5 beautiful children that are healthy, that have the God-given ability that they have each and every day. And listen, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, but I'll tell you right now, like I'll get into these spots, right? But Joel will contest to this. When I get into a spot, I call people and I make sure to get out of it immediately. Right. Like, I'm like, man, I know I'm thinking a little crazy. I must be tired and hungry. Because usually if I'm tired and hungry, your mind starts thinking differently. And I know people can attest to that, out there, but you just got to reach out for help. And that's one thing that I realized very quickly, is that you are going to be mad as long as you want to be mad. So, and sometimes that doesn't mean you just flick it off. Sometimes I got to talk to the right people that I'm all good vibes. Joel will attest to this. If I come around you and you make me feel like, and you're draining my energy, bro, I'll never hang out with you again. Simple and plain. I legit, and I'm not mean about it, but like, I understand my frequency. Like, I get it, bro. I understand that with my team. I understand that with my friends, my family, everything. Like, even family. There's certain family members that like, and I've tried, but like certain family members, like you got to cut off if they drain you. And I know that sounds crazy. Like, bro, I love my family. Okay. But certain family members just don't look at things the same way that I do, and they drain me. And I'm just not willing to do that. It took me a while to get there, but what people got to understand, man, is that you have these lifelines that you can reach out to. And a lot of times when you're mad, you're so mad that you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay mad. Right. why? It's only hurting you. It's only hurting your family, right? Like it's only hurting your team, right? So the thing is that you need to understand that like that's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. Like get on your knees and pray. I pray in my car sometimes, like when not everything goes well, right? Certain things go wrong, and sometimes I need to woo-saw. Shout out bad boys, right? Yeah. Okay. And I need to just sit there and I need to talk to God, right? And be like, hey, I know you put me in every situation for a reason, right? I can't see it right now, but help relieve me of what I'm feeling right now so I can be back to level keel, right? Sometimes I'll say that before I get out of my car, going into my house. Hey, God, relieve the stress that I had from work today so I can walk in and give my family the best of myself, right? And that takes a real man to seek help, to reach out and talk to people and say, hey man, I'm not good. You know, I need a little bit. And sometimes I need to just say it out loud. And then Joel to be like, yep, you're right. Yep. And I'm like, man, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And I snap back into it. Right. But like, I think people need to realize is that you're only hurting yourself, man. That's it, you know, and it's not hard to be positive all the time, but you have to set your life up to be positive, right? You got to be around positivity, positive people, talk positive, right? All the time, right? If you're around negativity all day, like, what do you think you're going to feel like? If every time you're talking to someone on the phone, you're talking to one of your buddies and you're talking about losses and stressful things and all of that, what do you think you're going to be? You're going to be stressed out, right? So all the people I talk to, it's about wins. It's about great things we're going to do, right? What actions we're going to take, right? Things like that. And I mean, you can ask my friends. I mean, some of my best friends that I talk to tell me, man, every time I talk to you, dude, like, I got to take a deep breath when I get off the phone with you because like that's the energy that I give to people. Because you want to know why I can give that energy? Because all the people around me are giving me some of their energy too, and it's all positive vibes. So I just think it's an excuse. It falls back to an excuse, man. You want to sit there, you want to woes me and have people feel bad for you. That ain't going to get me to that next goal that I'm trying to hit, baby. You know what I mean? So you got to buckle up, and you got to ride, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, I just don't use excuses, man. And that's just not a thing. And you know what I think about the most? And Andy Elliott helped me with this too, is like, I just think about my kids seeing me in that exact state, right? Saying all that negative stuff, right? What's that showing my 5 children, right? Like, I don't want to show them that. Even when they're not here, I think like that, right? Yeah. So I just think that it's an excuse, man.
Dude, there's a lot to grab from there, right? You're a man on a mission, but you also have that perspective, right? And you're also humble enough to reach out and say like, hey, what are you doing so I can be better, so I can get to that point that I want to be, you know? That's that's a different mentality. And, you know, I think about the people that don't have that much going on in their life, and they can sit around and think about the negativity and let it fester, right? Because they just got the time to worry about it, right? And when you're an entrepreneur who has so much going on like yourself, I mean, you're doing a whole nother business now. You don't even got time to think of that kind of stuff, to let it build up, right? So talk to me about where I want to get to the new company, but I also want to talk about the transition state you're in right now with Elite, because you are coming and now taking yourself out of the sales, getting these new people in, new positions. What does this transition period look like for you?
So the thing that's so funny, man, and me and Joel talked about this. Like last year, we tried doing this. I stepped back in. I am a dog at sales. I closed at 26,000 on the spot today, right?
Let's go.
And it was just walls, just for the main area, cabinets, and a banister for 26K. Okay, so like I do this, right? Yeah. And one thing that everybody out there, even when it comes to painting or putting down the brush, right? Sales is just something that I know if I need to sell a job, I can go sell a job, right? So it's very hard when people struggle with it. You know, you got to coach them, right? But what I'm trying to do is really make this an actual real business that runs without me, right? And I'm going to get there no matter what. This year, it's not about revenue. It's about putting these pillars in place so I have an actual business that runs by itself if something happens to me, right? And I think that it's, you know, maybe that's not the model that you're looking for. But when I got into this, freedom, baby, Braveheart style was what I was looking for. Freedom, profitability, okay? And I run a profitable business. We just did production rates. You know, you were like, dang, bro, okay? Like,
Definitely on the higher spectrum.
Yeah, I'm on a higher spectrum for sure. But I know Joel's heard me say this, like, we sell the sizzle, but we deliver the steak, baby. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how high the price. Everybody's happy to give me that check at the end because I deliver exactly what I'm trying to do. And with the other business, my one buddy, he's done brick. A lot of my friends actually do brick, and it was kind of a no-brainer for me, right? I've been kind of poking him. Profit margins are better for brick. The industry is very level keel. So like everybody kind of bids around the same numbers. There's a couple that go a little higher, but we kind of know them and know what they bid. So it makes it kind of easy to know that. And I helped him with a few different things last year, and he did really well with just a few things that I did. So he came to me with a proposition. He wanted to, make a self-sufficient, running company, successful company that people will stay at, that he doesn't have to worry about getting new guys every year and things like that. And it just worked out. So, we dissolved his company. We made it a new pillar of elite brick and masonry. We're doing 2-for-1s on every exterior bid or every brick house that we're going to look at. We're going to sell them for brick, and we're going to sell them for paint too. Because guess what? Oh, I'm getting water in my house. Well, yeah, I see that up there, right? But what about this tuck pointing you need on the side too, right? So it's just easy. So now I'm getting an extra lead on all of these quotes. So for me, it was just a no brainer, and it's something that I really wanted to get into because of the profit, right? Like I like the profit. It's not a very professionalized industry. I want to be a pillar company where people can strive to make more money, and just that can provide a place where someone because there's only 9 months you can work in Michigan, right? There's going to be a couple months where people are sitting down, which we're already kind of we're thinking about Christmas lights for those guys, so that they can stay busy throughout the whole year if they want, rather than collecting unemployment. So I don't know, man. I just don't stop. My brain don't stop. I literally have to like flick a switch and put my phone in a basket for me to stop it working. It's just, that's how I roll. So
we also capitalize on your market, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't have any brick houses around me. You saw that as an opportunity and said, I can be that professional high-end company, which we already are. We have the name, and now we're just taking on something else that you kind of already know because you have people that can kind of guide you in that way. So that's huge. I mean, that just speaks to you, though, and why you're going to be where you are going to be in the next few years, if not already there.
Yeah, I'm not where I want to be for sure. Okay. And I'll attest to that. It's not all easy. I don't want anybody to think it was easy. It's not easy, bro. You're going to have to put in work, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to have to do shit that other people aren't doing. Okay. Like I just revamped all my templates, right? I thought that before, and I have the magazine we're giving out. I wanted some before and afters on there. We were in Paint magazine for a few things. I wanted to showcase that, right? I just don't stop, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to try things and fail. Okay. Like, and I think that's a big thing is like, people are just so scared to fail. When they do fail, they wait a whole bunch of time to do it. I even, like last year, I failed with the salesman, really. Okay. And then I picked it back up thinking I was doing myself a service, but all that did was set me back because here I am a year later doing the same thing, right? I learned a bunch from failing in the first time. I knew what my avatar was. I knew kind of that I needed to make a little bit more repeatable system in place, right? And things like that. And I think people really think that failing is a bad thing when really it's a good thing, and it speeds up the learning curve a whole bunch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the way we are wired, especially you, even when you get to that point, you're going to be like, I'm not where I want to be, right? That's just the reality of it. Like the other day, I'm golfing with a potential sales rep that I might bring into my company. And he's like, dude, if I just had 100K, man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, if only you knew, bro. You know what I mean? Just like we're talking about. It's like, that'll solve all my problems. Even 50K.
I've said, bro, like with the, when I get there, I'll know I made it. Right, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know this sounds cocky, and I'm not trying to be cocky at all. I still had 26K, and I was riding along with one of my salesmen, and he's like, "Bro, you don't even seem excited." I'm like, "No, I'm getting ready for the next estimate." You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've sold big jobs, right? Like, and that's cool, right? But like, I'm more worried about my next goal. I'm like, okay, if I'm already at 100K on this month by the 10th. Right. I'm like right around there, flowing like 90, 100K sold. And I'm like, okay, I want to hit $250,000 this month. Right. Yep. So what does that look like by the end of this week? Right. Mm-hmm. That's how my brain is wired, bro. Okay. Like, and it's not I'm not saying like I'm very positive. So like I don't need like these wins to like make my mood. My mood's very like this. You know what I mean? But for me, like that's how I'm wired and that's what works for me. You know what I mean? I'm on to the next thing. Bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? And that's what compounds my success so much is that I never feel like I'm doing enough. Not that I'm like mad about it or upsets me, but I always like so many people are like, oh man, you're killing it. You're doing this, you're doing that. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but like, man, I could have done this. And sometimes I'll look at my end month numbers and I laugh about it. Because I'm just like, what am I thinking of here sometimes? Like people would kill to have these numbers like closing at 45%, $88,000 average job cost, $247,000 sold. But the whole time during it, I feel like there's more that I should be doing. Right? Oh, I got to make these callbacks. I have to make these callbacks. I feel like I'm slacking on that right now. And meanwhile, I'm selling crazy months. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's a little crazy. And the one thing I want to shout out people out there, man, because I know people listen to that are struggling out there sometimes and stuff is that, dude, not every month's going to be that month. Okay. I was doing so much last month. I had a low month. I went from coming off a $250,000 month, right, to a mere little less than 100,000. You want to know why that was? I'm trying to do a brick company. I'm trying to train sales. And guess what? Like I can beat myself up on that, but I can also identify with that and say, okay, what are some things that I need to tweak? I need to customize my plan to make sure that I'm hitting all these key points, to make sure I'm not missing out on these sales because I'm so busy and my mind's here and here, right? Yeah. So you got to reflect. And sometimes at the end of my week, I reflect and I remember every estimate, everything that I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, what could I have done better? Right? I don't care how good of a week it was. Even when things go well, I'm like, what could I have done better? Right? And I think that is why mindset and thinking so positive is so important, because if you look at that, you know, I'm not down on myself when I'm doing that, but I'm just looking at, okay, what can I do to make it just a little bit better? Is there a system I can put in place to prevent, you know, this or this? And like I said, I just look at my new things that I want to fix because I just am trying to propel my company so much faster than most people.
Dude, so commonality, right, guys? Like anyone that hears this podcast, like commonality, every leader we bring on here practically says the same thing with different words, right? Like go hard, work hard, don't become complacent, be consistent, right? Have a vision, family, faith, like
evolve.
Yeah, dude. And here's the thing a lot of people don't understand, and this is one thing, you said it well, right? And there's two parts that I want to highlight today. Your life is going to multiply because you've already built the structure. So that 6 years, you said it took you 6 years painting, right? Mm-hmm. How many years have you had the business?
I've only had, this will be we're going into our 5th year.
Going into your 5th year. Now you're buying another company. You're working and building another company. Watch what happens in 5 years. What took you the first 5 years isn't going to take you the same in this next 5 years.
No way.
People don't understand that. They want to get so far ahead that they forget what's in front of them and how they're going to do really well what's in front of them first, and be awesome at it. Like just greatness. And that's why I love the name Elite. Like when I hear Elite, I see Elite. How do you not operate at that standard having a name Elite, right? And what people do is they want to skip steps because they want to get somewhere faster. Listen, no different than me. I'm 7 years in the painting industry now, right? Dude, for 3 years, I was at $3 million in sales. I did not grow the business for 3 years because I was so hyper-focused on production, having the right people, making sure I have zero retention problems.
That is growing the business, though.
That is.
I don't want people to understand that. That's one thing I don't like to hear is you can have the same revenue and grow your net, grow your systems, and have a completely different company. Revenue is a vanity number. Okay.
Yes.
And I like to say this because, you know, I'm at the point, it sounds good. Everyone, I'm doing this, I'm doing that much. That's great, right? What impresses me, I sat down at a PCA thing. I don't think it was this year. I think it was last year. And I heard somebody say they were running a 30% net, business off 5 million. Okay. That impressed me. Yeah. You don't think I hit him up, talked to him after and was like that? That impresses me. And I think also you can be running a super stressful business with zero culture and have a big revenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't trying to like knock into you or anything like
Oh
that,
no, no,
Joe, so don't
yeah.
get it the wrong way. But I think it's important for people to understand that if you grow without having certain things right in place in your company, you're just going to have to backtrack eventually. Okay.
100%.
I've seen it. I know people who have done it a bunch. They get to 5 and they're like, bro, I got to get these things in line before I can do any more scaling.
Mm-hmm.
And they find out like, oh man, like I'm not making as much as I thought or this and that. Okay. And that's a true statement all the time. So I just want our listeners to understand that it's like, it's okay to do 1.2 million and then do 1.5 million the next year and have processes, systems in place and feel way less stress, right? You're working less hours or whatever that might be. That's a win, bro. Okay.
100%.
Because to make that next step to 3 million, it's going to make it that much easier, bro. You know what I mean? So I always like to really hit that on the nail because I think our industry loves throwing out these revies, right? These
100%.
revies. And to me, like my successful business model, yeah, it never was about hitting a certain number. Okay. It was about having freedom, spending more time with my family, right? And making enough money to put, my kids, build a legacy for my kids, right? Like that's where I'm at. It never was like, oh, I want to hit 100 million. Now I say things like that, right? Where I'm like, hey, I want to be at 10 million at this year, 5 million at this year. But when you first started, sometimes you got to revert back to those shoes when you first were getting into it. And remember those key whys, right? Okay. And I think sometimes people forget about their whys sometimes, right? And they'll make excuses, be like, well, I gotta, the only way I'm going to get to where I want to go is I got to stop doing this. Right. And that's such an excuse, bro. Like it's such an excuse. Like I'll never forget about my whys. Like my family is number one always. And God is always number one to me, always. And, sometimes the integrity comes into play with that, right? Where you just got some difficult lady or you're fixing stuff you have no business fixing. But like I said, good things, God, you get these tests and trials and tribulations sometimes, right? And I always make it in my head as, oh, this is like God testing me, right? And I look at it like that because it makes me have a better reaction, right, to that situation. So I have these little tricks in my head that I play with myself when I'm feeling a certain type of way or I want to not do this or not do that, that make me do it anyway, right? And I'm sure you guys have the same thing.
100%. I love that you said that though, because in the industry, that's all I keep hearing. I want to scale. I want to hit this number. And I go, why? Like, what's that why behind hitting that number? And then I look at it and then I help build the number. And I'm like, it makes zero sense to me that you even want to go there. And it doesn't even align with what your goals are. So I love the fact that you said that because it's okay to build. It's okay to focus and slow down because eventually it multiplies. And that's where I wanted to say is that you're going to start seeing that multiplication over time now. And a lot of people don't understand that. So, and I love the fact that we could bring Titans in this call because I would not want anyone to repeat my same mistakes and deal with what I dealt with, the stress in my relationships, the stresses on the finances of trying to grow too fast. In fact, what a lot of people don't know, I don't know if I've ever said this on the pod, my most profitable year was COVID. And it's because we're like, whoa, let's slow down. Let's see what's going on. And we started picking things apart and we're like, wow, we were too loose on these things, right? And we saw COVID as an opportunity, not a scarcity mentality. So that's when I learned very quickly, hey, I don't need to scale to these numbers. I need to focus on profit, people, and the story because it's our responsibilities as leaders, right, to take care of our people. So that's important too.
Yeah, no, 100%. You hit the nail on the head with that. And the other thing is like, I think sometimes people you got to be realistic. If you have a small company and you're having problems with the 7 guys you have right now, and you're like, oh, I'm going to scale to 3 million, dude. I'm going to pick up these. You don't think you're going to have more problems, bro? You know what I mean? You got to be realistic. And that's why it's so important to have the right people in your circle because, sometimes it's, hey man, yeah, we want to get there, but we got to hit this first. We got to fix this first. And I see so many people trying to scale and they're having crew lead issues or crew issues and things like that. How are you supposed to scale? You're going to hire more people into that environment and you think that that's going to work out better? Like, no, man. And I get it. It's like a trend in our stuff. But a lot of the things people don't realize is that a lot of these guys who are Titans out here that are killing it right now, like they've been through that. Like, you know what I mean? You just don't know them well enough to know that. Like, we've been through that. We, you know, like we had to make some significant changes and things like that. Like, bro, like I've been to 15 guys back down to 8 guys because I will not, like, my culture is my culture. I'm looking for all A plus people who want to be excellent in business and life and everything, right? And if you don't fit that mold, I'd rather have 9 killers than 13 people that my 9 killers will rub off on these other 4, right? And then now I got, instead of A plus workers, I got B plus workers because I kept these 4 around, right? So sometimes people got to realize, man, that it sounds great to scale, but you better have your house in order before you try doing that, or you're going to run into a room full of headache. And you could lose some of your best guys that way.
Facts.
Who's like your ideal, if you could have somebody to take the sales realm and be the sales manager for your company or the lead guy, what does that person look like?
They care. They care about the team. They care about the jobs. They care about the people we're doing it for. Because I care. I do. I care about my people. I think about them. I don't think about just numbers in my head. That's not what. If you do the right things, the numbers are going to come. That's what people don't understand. Let me say that again. If you do the right thing, the numbers are going to come. If you focus on the numbers, you'll have a whole bunch of people that aren't there for the right reasons, right? I'm trying to build something that's going to last, right? So you have to have the right people, the right vision, the people with the same culture, the same core values that you have, right? When you're building these things, because it can cast doubt. Like, I don't want, like, where I'm having to hire new people and I'm losing good people every year. I don't lose good people. Good people stay at my company. You know what I mean? And, I make it a safe haven. Like, the thing is everybody does the same thing. Everybody's expected to do great and do great every day. And now it's like you stick out like a sore thumb if you're not doing right. And that's what I was trying to build. And here I am, and I have that now. I didn't always have that, and I would keep the wrong people for too long because I was like, man, I got to go through this hiring pool. Because when your brand ain't big, man, you got to do a lot more interviews to get the right people in, right? We're at the point now where we get a lot of really good people coming through the door. Like for sales, I was talking to him and I was like, some of these guys, I'm like, why do they want to work here? You know what I mean? With their resumes and stuff. I was just like, dang, bro, that's crazy. Like, intimidating me to sit down with some of these guys with the corporate world and stuff like that they had worked for. And that just goes along with what I'm doing for my brand is working, right? I mean, every person that comes in here, whether it's a painter, whether it's a salesman, they always say, man, we've never heard anything bad about Elite. We hear about how great of a company it is. We've read the reviews. And people just know me. Like, we were doing the Birmingham Country Club, and the designer was trying to little man me a little bit, right?
Gold
I
flakes.
went in there and I was like, hey man, do you want this done right? I'm funny sometimes. So I was like, hey man, you want this done right? Like, are you the one paying the bills? Because you're asking my guys to do all this stuff that isn't on the scope. And he's like, well, I'm the designer. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, but you're not cutting the check. So we're not doing anything extra. Tell the big guys to call us, but I'm gonna need you to get out of here. I'm gonna charge them extra for you being in my way to spray the stuff, right? Sometimes people need that, right? But what was funny was he was like, oh, you can paint the ceiling because they're doing some gold flaking or whatever. So he hits his wallpaper guy up and he was like, do you even know this Elite? I didn't even know who the wallpaper hanger was, but he knew who I was and he knew he did good work. Okay. Yeah. And I looked at that guy like, oh, does your wallpaper hanger know us? Yeah, we're Elite. They know who we are and they know what kind of work we do. And he stepped right the fuck out of the room. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to build here is, and when people step in the door, you know what the greatest compliment to my company is they're like, hey, I know I'm going to have to bring my A game to work here.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I'd say you have one of the best brands probably in the industry. Talk about what it took to build that up and how important that was for you, because I think there's a compound effect when that really takes off.
Yeah, so what it was for me was I acted right. I went and bought a brand new truck, wrapped it. I looked the part of a big company when I first came out. I had everything looking super professional. Like, that was my big thing, right? I had literature right away. I had an iPad that I was doing the estimate on my iPad. I looked as if I've been around, right? And we were a big company. And when it came to me building a brand, it originally was just the Elite logo, right? And then when we started becoming bigger, one thing is like, hey, we need a mascot. We really need to like make this a brand, right? So that's when I kind of brought the mascot on. But my brand I was doing walkthrough videos before it was cool to do walkthrough videos, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, 4 years ago, it wasn't a big thing. I was doing them on every job. I was taking the same angle before and after pictures on every single project, bro. We actually just had a meeting about this because we made paint look cool. That's what I thought. You know what I mean? Not to painters, but to people. People thought what we were doing was cool. We have great content right now, don't get me wrong, but we used to in-house make some really cool content, and that's what we're going to get back to. We just did a little workshop actually with some of the guys to get them to like, hey, we need to get back to this. And we broadcasted some of our cool content on the big screen by our conference table.
Wow.
And everybody was like hype about it. And they're like, yeah, man, I remember. Oh, man, that was oh, man, that looks sweet. You know what I mean? So I got them excited about it. And I was like, this is what I want to get back to. I want to make painting cool again at Elite, baby. Let's do it, right?
Yeah, trademark that.
Yeah, because that's how I'm a coach of people. I enjoy, I'll never be the boss behind closed doors that never says anything. That's just not who I am. I want people to see me because I walk the fucking walk, bro. Okay? I'm here. I don't have to be here at 8 every day. I'm here 10. I drop my kids off at school every day, pray with them, and I'm here 10 minutes early every single day, bro. Okay? There's been a couple of times where I'm like, talking shit about cabinet doors or something like that. I'm like, cool, man. I'm like, hey, leave them for me. I'm going to spray that side. Watch what these look like in the morning, right? And I'll bang out. I'll stay there for an hour and a half. I'll spray out all the doors. And I have every single team member go through all of them and say, you tell me if you see a flaw in them. So when I'm talking that shit, I walk the walk, bro. You know what I mean? So it's super easy to work for somebody that doesn't just I don't do the whole do as I say, not as I do. Okay. I walk the walk. So that's why I don't get very much kickback. That's why I don't get very many excuses, right? Because what I ask my guys to do, they've seen me do it. And some of the cats have worked with me. I worked the first probably 9 months training a couple of these guys. And I have all of the same guys still here, right? From my first year. And I worked with them. And everything I have them doing, I did. So I wanted all of my stuff in order in a tarp, right? And I would make someone leave, 30 minutes early and clean out the truck and make sure all the tools were where they needed to be. So no one was looking for tools in the morning. Right. So everything that I have these guys doing, a couple of these guys have already seen me do it. And they're like, nah, man, yeah. And then when I say hey, man, there's no reason why that room shouldn't have been done in X amount of time. I'm taxing hours of how long it would take me. And you got 3 guys shaking their head he's definitely giving you some leeway because he would have banged that fucking room out. You know what I mean? I just think that people don't realize that whether it's your children or your team, you got to walk the walk. If you walk the walk, you'll get the right people in here that will walk the walk as well because they see you doing it, man. You know what I mean?
He hit it. Guys, that's why I'm wearing my shirt today. I was out in the field today. You know what I mean? People don't understand that. They think you're just going to sit in an office. It's all luxurious and stuff. It's no, you need to lead. And by leading is by showing, right? By teaching. That's what real leaders do, man. So that's super dope. Thank you for sharing.
I think also, man, it's so underrated that, like you said, I don't think you said you didn't really have a boss that you looked up to or that you thought was a good boss. Imagine somebody working for you, what they're going to get out of that experience. Pay aside, right? Let's be real.
I think the one thing that is a common factor is I'm here to, and I tell people this, right? I want you to be a great painter, a great person, a great husband, a great wife. I mean, a great wife, because I have girls that work for me too. A great father, right? And I'm serious. And I tell people, and the other thing, bro, I'm positive peer pressuring you, bro. I'm going to make sure, if you're not cool with that, then step out the door, right? But no one's ever said to me, man, no, I'm going to expect you to do your best. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because, God forbid anything happens here, you will go anywhere else and be the best painter, the best PM, the best salesman they've ever seen. And they're like, dude, where the fuck did you come from? You get what I'm saying? And if that's something you want, stay here. If you want to be mediocre, dude, there's plenty of companies you can do that. But here, I'm going to make sure you're great. I'm going to make sure you're great outside of here too. Because if you're not, you ain't going to have a place here either.
You have any mentors?
I don't really have any mentors, man. I mean, I would say my mentor was my uncle Steve. He passed away when he was 50. But he's very like me, man. Super positive guy. Always would see, the best and everything. I'll never forget this, and I'll share this real quick. But like I said, I wasn't always the best kid. There's a time where my family kind of had a meeting, right? and wanted my mom to wipe her hands with me. It was like, dude, this kid causes too much stress to the family. Like, you need to just wash your hands with him, right? And my uncle Steve was there, and I'll never forget. He said, he's like, dude, how are you telling? He's a teenager. You're gonna give up on this guy, like, and you're gonna tell her as a teenager to give up on her son. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget that, because he only seen he didn't get to see me like do me, right? What I'm doing right now. But I'll tell you, man, the positivity, the funny, right, energy, the looking at things in other people's eyes rather than just looking at it from my point of view, right? I got a lot from him. And I know that there's people, up in heaven that are watching me succeed and are getting excited up there and cheering on me like it's a Super Bowl game, right? Wow. So that's something that drives me. But that would probably be someone to me that was kind of like a mentor of me. Honestly, bro, I'm just such a go-getter, bro, that all it takes is, I'm so competitive that I see people and I'm like, man, I want that, and I'm going to do what it takes to get that,
Shout out Uncle Steve, man.
Uncle Steve, man. That's my guy. That's my guy, bro.
Dude. Wow. How we doing on time, my man?
We're good, man. Dude, I mean, it's a pleasure to have you. I mean, there's going to be so many people that are going to be inspired by this episode, I mean, I'm already ready to run through a wall right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I just want to like give my son a hug and get at it, man.
I just want people to put in perspective is this, man. No matter what happens in your day, if you walk home and your kids run to you with a smile on their face, or you call your kid and you sense some excitement in your voice, bro, you're fucking winning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're winning. Okay? And I think sometimes we get so caught up on these pain emergencies that aren't emergencies, and what's going to happen? And it happens to me sometimes, right? And sometimes you just got to humble yourself, and you got to realize, bro, you have so many things to be grateful for. I mean, bro, you know how many people don't have healthy children? Think about that. Okay. Do you know how many people can't just like get up out of bed? They can't. They need help to do that. Right. And one thing that changed my life that I still do to this day, even when I'm in my office, is I run a gratitude list every morning. And not like just like a little bit. And it could be based on how I feel, what I dreamt about, things like that. But like truly grateful, right? And close your eyes and envision you in that moment of gratitude. Don't just pick a person. Pick a moment that you felt grateful. I always pick my firstborn kid when he was born. We hold him in his eyes. I can picture I had a American flag shirt on. I had a backwards Nationals hat, red Nationals hat, and I had my kid. And I can put myself in that feeling when I close my eyes, and I'll actually mimic me smiling, okay, in that moment. And if you can open your eyes and not be happy about your life, I feel sorry for you, bro. Okay. And I think people got to understand there's certain things that you have to do. Your brain is against you. Think about this. This is a great example. You're doing a bench press, right? And your brain's like, oh man, like that's enough. But you can go down and do another 3 to 5 usually, right? So is your brain working with you or is it working against you? Right? Okay. So the thing that once you realize that your brain wants you to do less than what you're capable of doing, right? You stop listening to your brain so much, right? You can start training it, tapping it, like laughing at it. That's what I do. My brain will tell me some stupid shit sometimes. And I'll laugh at it, give it a little tap, like, man, you funny. You know what I mean? And then I carry on with what the fuck I'm doing, right? But I just think so many people limit themselves and limit the love they can give to their wife, the love they can give to their children, just because they're not willing to put in a little extra fucking work. I hate spreadsheets. I hate them. I sat there and looked at this time block schedule thing last night, bro, for a good 35 minutes because I'm like, bitch, man, I got to go fucking down the whole thing. But I fucking did it. You want to know why? Because I kept reminding myself of the things that I was going to miss if I didn't make this happen. And I wasn't willing to miss those things and have the chance to miss those things by not doing something I hate fucking doing. I hate that shit. I can write some shit down in a pad, but hour by hour by hour, it takes some time to do that, right? But I sat there and did it. And my wife was laughing at me because she's like, you just going to sit there and stare at it or are you going to fucking do it? You know what I mean?
Keep it going.
Wife, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I got that moment too, man. That's a big thing that I think about. Like, I remember when I was working my hands to the bone. And one day I was just like, dude, let's go to the shore. Me and my wife, my kid, and he played his little heart out. We went on the Ferris wheel, and I just remember looking at him so exhausted. He was so exhausted from just playing all day, and I was like, good, thank God I got this moment. So I always bring myself back there.
Yeah, like just over the weekend, right? My kids go to my mom's on the weekend sometimes, right? Give me and my wife some time. And like, bro, it's like, it's weird to me. Like I work a lot because like, I'll be like, well, nothing to do. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Cause that's just what I like to do. Like, I like to better myself. I just like enjoy that. So like people think work is work. Like it is work sometimes, but like sometimes it's stuff that I like to do. Cause guess what? When I'm not doing shit, that's what I do anyway. Right. But my kids, so we went to my mom's house after we went out to eat. I played outside with my kids. I was super tired because I was up pretty late working on some things when my kids went to sleep, and went home, and I was planning on going to take a nap, right? I was like, I'm going to take a nap. And on the way home, my kids were like, man, Dad, you want to play basketball outside? And everything in me, bro, wanted to say no. And I was like, yeah, I'll play some basketball with you. And then I ended up playing basketball with them for like 2 hours while my wife's taking a nap, by the way. Then I went out. I get down, I sit down, kind of lay my head on my wife, and my little kid comes in, right? And he's like, hey, Dad, like, I know we just play basketball, but like, I really want to play catch outside football. Oh. And I'm like, man. So I'm like, all right. So I get up and I go outside and I play catch with him. As I'm beat, I'm tired, right? And you want to know why that was? Because I told myself, I work my ass off Monday through Friday so I can have moments like this with my kid. How dare me not go out there and enjoy this because I'm fucking tired. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's why it's so important to train your brain to tell you the right things, right? When the wrong things come up. Okay. Because if you don't do that, I wouldn't have had that fun that I had with my kid playing catch with him. I would have been like, oh, I'm tired. Daddy's tired. Right. But I reminded myself, bro, that's why you bust your ass Monday through Friday is for moments like this. You better get your ass up.
I feel like I have a mental to-do list right now.
Yo,
dude, Nick, you've been amazing, bro. Really appreciate you hopping on, dude. You're epic. Like, just can't say enough.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. It's always fun hanging out with some friends, man. I hope all listeners got a little something out of this. Hit me up, Nick at elitepaintcompany.com. If you guys got any questions, or need anything from me, I'll get back to you guys as quick as possible, but always trying to help out and run out. So God bless all you guys, and thank you so much.
I think it's Nick Joe on Facebook.
Nick Joe on Facebook. Yep, you can find me on Facebook too. But Nick at Elite Paint Company with a Y spelled out .com. Hit me up. Like I said, man, I always like connecting with new people, and I'm here to help with whatever I can.
Joel, you want to close us out?
Absolutely. So before I close this out real quick, if you guys want to hear Nick again, got a little surprise. We're dropping on a podcast today.
Oh, snap.
We're going to throw a sales webinar for free. And I'm getting 6 killers. It's going to be a 2-day event. I haven't told everybody yet, but we've been working behind the scenes. I will drop the date soon, but Nick is going to be on that call doing his sales training. And what we're trying to build is just sales. Just hearing how we do sales in the industry. How do you build value? What do you do differently than anybody else, right? That's what you're going to hear Nick and every speaker that's going to be on there. And I wanted to just present
how to close them fat.
Yes.
30Kers, bruh.
Yes.
On the spot.
So I won't release who else is on that yet, but obviously Nick's here. So I'm excited for everybody to really see you in action. I see you in action. It gets me pumped up. And guys, you don't want to miss that webinar. Once we drop that, it's going to be sick. What's that?
Is there a date?
Not yet. Probably in a few weeks. I want to prep the speakers. We just literally last week I started planning for it, but we'll probably get it. I'm hoping end of March we can launch a webinar, 2 days, 3 speakers each day. They're going to be 20 to 30 minutes each. But what I want to do differently for the industry and the sales calls is that we're highlighting these specific sales guys like Nick, right, that are showing us their process and why they're so great at what they do. And the funny part is the commonality of each sales guy. It's all about listening. It's all about value. All of that.
And it's going to be something different, baby. I'm going to tell you right now, it's my favorite thing to do. I think a lot of these have been kind of presentations. It's going to be a little different than that. And I promise you, I'm going to bring the motherfucking fire, baby. Let's go. Okay.
Let's go, baby. So
We'll
as
drop.
we close it out, about that.
We'll drop the link in the
Yeah.
YouTube description if we can. And then as well, there's one more thing you dropped, right? School?
Yeah. I dropped the school community. It's official. Obviously, it's still mindset related, but it's for all contractors.
Yeah.
It's called the 5 Pillars of Excellence. And what I truly believe is this: mindset, sales, production, office, and leadership. The 5 pillars of success, right? So I completely break down my playbook on that. It's got some basic stuff, dropping like 5 videos a month. So that I can go more long form. And I'm just doing that to build value for our communities. So I'm super excited about that too. So yeah,
We'll drop that in the link in the description as well.
You better check that out.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I always like to leave you guys with a quote. My man brought the heat, so this is specific for Nick. You know, they say good is the enemy of great. And when I think of Nick, I think of that. Don't be complacent. Don't be good. Be great.
Be great.
Be elite.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, brother.
See ya.